we taping? We're taping. Hi. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 41 of our virtual Cedar Grove Global Freakin' Pandemic Yoga. um, we're going to get right into it today. I have a lot of yoga to teach today, so we're going to get moving right along. Need to get my eyebrows done. I should probably put makeup on soon. I just can't be bothered right now. I also need to have my roots done. Ugh, so much to do. Today's class is going to be a little bit different. It's by request. If you know me, and we've talked about yoga, and I believe in the very first virtual class that we taped, I talked about this, but if you know me, then you know I believe yoga should be for everybody. And that's a twofold statement. Everybody in that it should be accessible to anyone who wants to do it anywhere, but also everybody, regardless of your height, your weight, your physical limitations. There's always a way to do yoga. And I was talking with someone the other day who was saying that she feels like she can never take yoga classes because she thinks once she get down on the floor, she won't be able to get back up. And I know for a lot of people with knee issues, that's a legitimate concern. And so she asked she kind of challenged me, actually. And I like a good challenge. But she asked if there was a way to stretch out your whole entire body, starting from the head down to your feet, without having to go up and down on your mat, with just sitting, lying, being on your stomach, but just staying down low and not worrying about having to go up and down. And so I thought it through, and I think I put together some things that'll work, and that's what we're going to try out in this class. We're going to start at the top of our head and work our way all the way down to our toes without having to go up and down, just to see how it works. I had never really thought about that before. I know that there are people who don't like to be standing, sitting, standing, sitting, standing, sitting. I know that can be bothersome for some people, but there's always ways to modify it with chairs or, using a block to kind of push yourself up with. But this is just 100% down low. And so that's what we're going to do in this class. We're going to see how we can do our whole entire body, staying down low, and then hopefully when you lie in Shavasana at the end, you'll feel like you stretched everything out. So grab your mat, grab your blanket or your towel. That's going to be important for this class. Whatever it is that you use to sit up on, to kind of tilt your pelvis forward a little bit so that you can sit really nice and straight, you're definitely going to need that. So either a blanket or a beach towel, or if you have another yoga mat that you can roll up, something to slide under your tush to help you sit up really tall on those sits bones. Okay? So grab your stuff. I'll see you in a minute. If you have been following these classes since March, then you know the saga of my yoga pants. And I was just thinking, these are one of the best finds of quarantine 2020 that I could have possibly hoped for. They grew on me. I love them. I know I bought 2 pairs, but I can only find one, so that's kind of annoying. It's got to be in my closet somewhere, just blending in with other stuff, but I'm going to need to find it. But they're high-waisted. They have cute little bow belts. They're wide-legged, which I love. And they're a nice, sleek material. So you don't slide on your mat, but you don't get stuck. You don't get like that friction stuck either. So good find, good find. All right, do you have your stuff? Do you have your beach towels or your blanket? Or what works best for that is if you have a Mexican blanket, those coarser striped woolly ones, because they don't compress a whole lot when you sit on them. They stay nice and firm. So that works really good. But whatever you have, just grab it. All right, lie down on your back. Arms at your side, palms up. Start to find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Close your eyes if they're not. And just start to relax. I don't know what kind of day you've had so far or how you're feeling, but we're in the middle of August now. I lost track of how many quarantine days it is, but I want to say it's somewhere in the 150s or 160s, and that's a heck of a lot, right? So relax. Listen to the sound of your breath. Notice how your breath feels as it moves through your body on the inhale, during the hold, and then on the exhale. The last class, number 40, that was a big deal, 40, right? We did more of a therapeutic class, and we did some breath work and meditation at the end, some very simple breath work and meditation at the end. And I don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed it. I don't normally teach that way because I don't like to waste my time doing that stuff. And to me, that's just not, that's like a whole separate class to me. Not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't usually teach that way. But I hope you enjoyed it if you did it, and I hope that you were able to remember some of those very simple practices that you can take with you into everyday life, because these are for sure stressful times that we're living in, right? And I think anything that you have that you can pull out to use to relax yourself is something good to keep close by. I use yoga. I use a little bit of breathing work at night when I'm in bed if I need to. I work out. That's a big stress reliever for me for sure. So I hope you have something. All right, move your arms out a little bit away from your body into more of the big T with your palms up. Keep the eyes closed, keep the breath level and even, and drop your legs all the way over to your right, coming into a twist. Let the legs settle, and then focus on the back of the left arm. Get that nice and grounded and firmly kind of snuggle down into the ground, but let the legs go first. I think most poses, if you break them down into parts, you don't just do a pose and stay in the pose. You do the pose and then you play with the pose. That's how I was taught, and that's kind of how I practice. I never really feel like I'm super good at any one thing because there's always changes to be made. There's always little things to fix, you know, like bend the knee a little bit more, turn the foot out a little bit more, tilt the pelvis back a little bit and scoop it under. There's always something to play with. And so when you come into something simple like this twist pose, the minute you get your legs down, the pose isn't done, right? You want to get the legs down, but then you want to move into the upper body and focus on the back of the opposite arm. So if you can start to picture your poses in your mind as you're doing them, or even when you're not doing them, sometimes I lay in bed and I picture asana, I picture flows, and I try to sequence things together to see how it would look. But if you can see yourself outside of what you're doing, you'll see that the arm's popping up a little bit, or maybe that hip needs to go a little bit further over to the side, and just get to know yourself a little bit better. You can get so much more out of your poses by doing self-adjustments. That's what I'm trying to say. Self-adjustments. I've never been a teacher that adjusts a whole lot. I'm not really comfortable with touching other people like that. I don't want to hurt somebody and maybe put them in a position that I think looks comfortable for them and have it be awful for them. But now especially, I don't know when teachers will ever physically adjust people again in yoga. So if you're someone who practices a lot or goes to class with lots of teachers, get used to self-adjusting, get used to thinking through a pose yourself and figuring out how to make it work yourself without needing someone to come over and pull your shoulder back or, you know, remind you to lengthen up through the crown of your head. Become your own teacher a little bit. That's what I'm trying to say. Nice deep breathing here. So we were starting at the crown of our head and working our way down to get a full body opening. Right now, this is how I always start my classes. I like a simple twist. I like the release. So right now, that's what we're doing. But we are going to start at the top of the head and work our way down, I promise. Bring your knees up to center. Come on into a happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap. Letting your legs go wide, letting the weight of your arms pull you out to the sides and down. Effectively opening your hips, your inner thigh muscles, your groin muscles, anything that might get tight. I had to do some errands today, so it was a super big day. So I obviously popped through the Starbucks drive-thru. By errands, I mean put library books in the book slot. I vacuumed out all the like 5 pounds of sand in my car. I went and vacuumed out my car. I did have to return something at Target, so that was like an actual errand, but Target has no joy anymore for me. It's no fun anymore. It was interesting though, because I was at the customer service counter returning something, and I noticed this line of guys off to the side, and they had like water bottles, and some of them had like a sandwich. Like they were there. And I asked the girl behind the register what was going on, and she was like, oh, today is the one day every month when our Topps baseball representative comes and he puts out new things, and it's the same guys every month. She said they line up at 8 in the morning. It was like noon when I was there, and they wait to see what this guy brings. I was like, holy cow, that's super nerdy. But interesting, I guess, and it killed time, but still, like, they were a little too close to each other for my comfort. So I think I'm going to be weird about that forever. I don't think I'm ever going to be comfortable being really close to people. So arms are out, palms are up, drop your legs to the left this time. Come into your twist, legs settle, but then you start to play with the upper body and the back of the right arm, and you figure out how to tweak it so that you really feel a stretch, not just in the back of that right hip, but also across the whole front of the right chest going into the upper arm. I wish you could talk back, except I don't really, because I don't want to do Zoom classes. So I don't really wish you could, I guess, because that would be the option. But I'm wondering if anyone is sore today from anything else that you've done. I did my push-ups a little bit different on Saturday than I normally do. And I woke up yesterday in a fresh hell of soreness that went down my side bodies, into my back, into my scapula, into my shoulder blades, down my upper arms, into the back of my upper arms, and then down into my armpit area. Everywhere from the waist up was basically sore from doing these push-ups a little bit differently. And all I did was I faced a park bench with the seat in front of me, and I put my hands down on the seat, and then I walked my feet back until I was in an inverted plank, and I did my push-ups that way, not keeping my hips in the air, but just moving in a straight line, down and up, down and up. And I only did half of what I normally would do because it was super, super, super hard. But holy cow, was it effective the next day as far as soreness goes. So if you're someone who does push-ups and you want to change it up a little, consider trying that. It was brutal, but I'm going to do it again. Okay, knees up to center, happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap. Find your movement. My allergies have been really bothering me the last couple of days. My nose is just super runny. And my eyes are itchy. It's the only thing that's bothering me. And I'm not sure. I think it's from all the little rain that we've had. Like almost every night I feel like it rains lately. But I think that's what it is. So press your low back down into the floor. Try to get out any natural curve that's in your spine just for a second. And then bring your knees together, bring your feet to the floor, roll over to your right, and push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to start with our challenge to open up our whole entire body without going up and down, up and down, up and down, which is pretty typical in a yoga class. So I am going to sit any way you want for a minute. I'm going to go to my favorite go-to wide-legged, because if you ever wonder why this is always my go-to, the answer is very simple. This is always my go-to because my hips are always tight, and this just starts to open them a little bit for me without me having to really do a whole lot. If I'm folding clothes on our bed, I'll either sit like this or I'll sit cross-legged because I want to open up my hips a little bit when I have a moment without putting a whole lot of thought into it because I'm doing something else. So start to move a little bit from side to side. Just find a little bit of motion, bringing your shoulders into it as much or as little as you'd like. Teaching live tonight, which is my favorite thing in the whole world. So I'm hoping we don't get rained out. I love the weather. I love the Weather Channel. And I saw that maybe we're supposed to get rain around 5 o'clock and rain for like 5 or 6 hours. But it's, I mean, gorgeous day today, so I'm hoping they're wrong. I'm hoping they're wrong. Okay, now instead of going side to side, start to make a circle. So now you're incorporating the back body, and you're going into the space in front of you a little bit. I'm going counterclockwise, and you could go in either direction because we're going to switch it in a minute. So just pay attention to which direction you're going in so that you know to go in the opposites. Okay, stop in the center, go in the opposite direction. This always feels good, doesn't it? I was going to say something stupid, like feels like a massage, but it doesn't at all feel like a massage. I think I just have massage on the brain because I have a couple gift certificates for different massages in the center console of my car, and I saw them today while I was vacuuming, and I just wanted to cry that I can't call and make an appointment and go get a massage. It's painful when you have gift certificates that you can't use for something like that. And I'm a massage junkie, so. All right, come back to center. So we're gonna start with our head, right? Our neck. But the first thing we're gonna do is rub our hands together and build some friction. We're gonna build a little bit of heat. Make sure that you're going all the way down into your palms. You don't just want this to be your fingers, you want it to be your palms more than your fingers. Rub, rub, rub. You're gonna feel them getting warmer as you go. And then you're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna put the heel of your hand right on top of your eyes. And take some nice deep breaths. One more inhale. And exhale. That feels oddly good, right? It's the heat and it's the touch and it's just soothing around your eyes, isn't it? Now we're going to take our fingers and we're going to rub our earlobes a little bit. I know this is weird, but it's going to feel good. Yoga is so much bigger than what we do in a regular class. It's so much bigger than that. Rub your earlobes a little bit. Okay, now right ear is going to go to right shoulder. And like I said earlier, don't just find your pose and then do nothing. Find your pose and then play with it a little. Like for me, I bring the right ear to the right shoulder. If I start to move my head back, I feel this is a stretch down here, which is kind of odd. If I start to move my head forward, I feel it more down the tightness behind my left ear and down into my neck. So you want to play with it a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to do left ear to left shoulder. And same thing, you want to play with it a little bit because what you felt on one side might be totally different than what you feel on the other side. Lengthen your head across the space without moving your whole body. So for me to lengthen my head without moving my whole body, I'm not moving my torso. I'm just lengthening out through my neck. Ooh, I just got a good crack. Nice. Okay, now bring it up. So now we're going to do something similar, but we're going to add a little bit of body weight. Okay, so now right ear to right shoulder. Right hand is going to go right above the left ear. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. And just let the weight of your arm gently pull your head over. So you might be getting a deeper stretch than you did when you did it on your own, because now you're applying a little bit of body weight. I like this one. This is relaxing for me. It's a good release. And then bring it up. Same thing on the other side. So left ear to left shoulder, left hand above the right ear. And just let the weight of the arm pull the head over a little bit more than you might do on your own without that arm to coax you deeper. Okay, so let's see. I don't know that we want to get all into like eyes and face, but we might as well, right? So take your hands, take your pointer finger and your middle finger, and just start to massage a little bit. Make circles on your face, your cheekbones, in between your cheekbones and your jaw, wherever you might be tight. Go up into your forehead a little. Eyebrow area. See, it's good I'm not wearing makeup right now. Under the eyes. Your nose a little. Around your lips. Always wear a lip balm though, and SPF. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play with our eyes a little bit, but this is more me explaining and you trying your best to just do what I'm asking, right? It's a little bit bizarre. So close your eyes. Now, keep the eyes closed. Don't move your head at all, but roll your eyes up into your head like you're trying to see the ceiling. You will feel a very subtle stretch around your eyeballs. It's weird, but it's good. Now bring the eyes back to a neutral position. Don't open them, don't move your head, and try to look at the ground underneath you. Same thing, you feel the very subtle stretch in a slightly different place. Eyes back to center. Now you're going to keep the head still, keep the eyes closed, roll the eyes all the way to your right. So look at the thing furthest to your right. For me, that's my front door. That feels really good. And then eyeballs back to center. At this time, same thing with the left. So now I'm going to look in my kitchen. Come on back. Open your eyes. Drop your chin to your chest. Let your head be really, really heavy here. You want to feel this in the back of your neck and in your upper back. And then last one, drop the head all the way back. Opening up your throat chakra and everything in the front. And then up to center. Any last minute cracks, get them out. And then we're going to move into shoulders, okay? So, I mean, that felt pretty good, right? So now you're going to take your right hand, bring it to your left shoulder, left hand to the back of the right elbow, and just push. So this is a pose that we do standing, sitting. This is a pose we do a million different ways, but this moves the shoulder blade on and off your back. And it opens up the front shoulder a little bit too, right in the front of that underarm crease. Scratching my back as I go because I have a bug bite. Bothering me. All right, lift the arm up. Move the hand behind your head. And then release. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So left hand to right shoulder, right hand to the back of the left elbow, and push. I put some different pillows on my couch, and I'm not sure what I think. I'm looking at them right now. My living room is pale yellow with just a lot of white accents and some green and a little bit of blue, like just kind of sea glassy colors. And these pillows are pink and orange and yellow and green and blue and white, but they're subtle. Just not sure what I think. I've had them for a long time. I was cleaning out the basement the other day and I found them, and I remembered I liked them. So I threw them in the washing machine and in the dryer just to freshen them up. I'm not sure. I think the dog's probably going to ruin them anyway, so so they won't last long. Okay, now stretch up, stretch to the sides a little bit. Oh my goodness, that feels good. That's a big stretch. And then come on forward. So when you're coming forward, remember that you're leading with your heart. You're not rounding your head and trying to get the top of your head to touch the ground. That's not even close to what we're trying to do here. All we're trying to do is lengthen out of the back of our hips, through the crown of our head, lengthen the spine, and keep the heart center open. So when you do this, don't look around at your neighbor, because you don't care where they are. You don't care if their chest is laying on the floor. It doesn't matter at all to you. You just want to do what you're capable of and what feels best and what gives you a good back lengthener, right? Okay, so now we're going to work our way down our arms. We're going to go to our hands, and then we're going to move around a little bit, but we're still going to stay down low as per the request. So take your left hand, take your right hand, massage the palm of your right hand using the left hand to do it. So I'm pretty much just using my thumb. Get the base of each finger. Maybe go up the length of the fingers a little bit. My hands are cold right now. Go up the length of each finger. But really pay attention to the base of the fingers, so that when we're doing, well, we won't do that in this class, but when we're doing something like downward facing dog, or something where our hands are maybe an inversion, where our hands are on the floor, you can really spread them deep. Now, if you have any knuckles to crack, it's a good time to crack them. We're also going to do some wrist circles with that right hand. No cracks for me. Go in the other direction. Oh, no, I lied. I just got one. Oh, I got two. Huh. All right, same thing on the opposite hand. So you're massaging out the left hand using the right fingers. Base of each finger and up the length of each finger, right? But really just, I don't know, I'm making circles. You can do whatever feels best for you, but circles feel good for me. Getting in that thumb area. And I'm using kind of a deeper pressure. When I get massaged, I kind of like them to be deep tissue. And then make your wrist circles. Listen for a crack. No, nothing on this side. I don't know why. Opposite direction. Okay, so next up, we've done shoulders, we've done neck, we've done face, we've done hands. Next up is our side body, and that's just a simple stretch that we've done before. We're going to bring our right forearm down to the outside of our right hip and extend our left arm up and over. Your palms facing down towards the ground, and if your neck is comfortable, look up underneath your arm towards the ceiling or the sky. And then come on up, same thing on the other side. So now left hand down to the outside of the right hip, reach up and over. One more time on each side. Right arm down. and left arm down. And then come on up and come towards the middle. Okay, so now we are going to come into a little bit of a hip opener. We're going to sit in the S formation with the left leg in front, right leg out to the side and going to the back a little tiny bit. And we're going to turn over our left knee, one hand on each side, cupcake hands. And we're just going to start to rock forward a little bit so that the back of that right hip is lifting up off the ground. And moving with us. We're mostly putting space in the back hip, which for me right now is the right hip. But it's a gentle pose, and it's not a huge movement, but it's enough to put some space in there, and that's part of what will make you feel good when this is over, right? One more forward, and then we're going to come down over the left knee into a comfortable forward bend. And then while we're here, we're going to take a twist. So we're going to bring our right hand to the outside of the left knee, left hand on our fingertips behind us. Sit up straight and tall on your blanket or on your beach towel, and twist to look over your left shoulder. This you might feel deeper in the right hip, but it's also just a basic spinal twist. Before we go crazy and go right to the other side, we're going to extend our right leg out, take our fingertips, and massage the bottom of the left foot. I wouldn't even be crazy stupid enough to say it's just like a real massage, because not even close. But get the arch, flex your foot a little bit, really rub out your arch with your thumb, go into your heel. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure why, but my Achilles have been super tight for the last couple of days. I'm walking the same loop I've been walking for a long time. Might be that my sneakers are getting shot, the arches. I might need to look for a new pair, which I love. I love buying new running shoes, so that's not really a hardship for me, but that might be what the problem is. But I just lately have noticed that my Achilles, which are the back of your ankle and up, have been staying tight for a couple hours after I work out, and that's just kind of a hassle. Get your toes. And then bring that left leg out in front of you and start to make some ankle circles. Try not to move your whole entire leg. Just move the foot. I am going clockwise right now, which is kind of surprising because usually I do the opposite. Make them a big movement, a big circle. Really stretch the top of the foot. And then go in the opposite direction. Ooh, feels kind of tight up there. I think I needed this. So now we're going to go through that same little sequence on the opposite side. So we're going to come into the S formation with our right leg in front, our left leg bent out to the side. This is my tighter hip, so this is going to be a lot more uncomfortable for me than the other side was. I don't know where you stand with which hip is tighter, but I can already feel the tightness. So hand comes to the left hip crease, and you're going to rock yourself up a little bit, lifting the back of that left hip up off the ground, letting that femur slide out a little bit and creating some space in there. Just a couple more, gentle rocking. It's kind of a soothing action, right? I don't mind the rocking. Okay, now we're going to bring both hands to the outside of that knee, and we're going to come down into just a little bit of a forward bend over that front knee. That's why I'm not good at yoga on the beach, because the minute my mat gets bunched, I have to smooth it. And when you're on the beach, there's a lot of bunching. Wedgies with your bathing suit. It just happens a lot on the beach. Okay, come on up. Now we're going to come into our twist. So left hand to the outside of the right knee, right fingertips behind you. Twist yourself to look over the right shoulder. One more nice deep breath in. And exhale. So now we're going to massage the bottom of our right foot, right, using our right hand. Get the arch, like I said before. Get the bottoms of your toes. This doesn't feel awful. It just feels so much better when someone else does it, right? Not awful though, just not as good. Not even close to as good. Okay, extend that right leg out in front of you and start to make your circle. So I'm going to go clockwise again and try to be organized. Ooh, did you hear that? That's a good one. If you point enough on the extension part of this, you feel it all through the, almost up into your knee. Opposite direction. Flex just a couple times because it feels good. And then we are going to go down onto our backs. Get down onto your back, get down onto your back. Arms are out, palms are up, big T position. And your legs are going to go straight up in the air with your feet flexed. So legs are straight up. You're a 90-degree angle from your legs down through your torso, and the feet are flexed. So the toes are coming down, the heels are lifting high, the arch is lengthening, and you're pressing out through the backs of your knees. So we have done neck, face, shoulders, side body, hips, ankles, wrists, feet, hands. So by doing what you're doing right now, we're inviting the hamstrings into the mix, as well as the back of your calves and your Achilles, right? We're doing good. We've covered almost every single thing we can. Oh, we also did forward bending for spine, right? Okay, now take one hand, put them on the inside of each knee, and pry your legs apart to get a deep hip opener. Go as far apart as you're comfortable, but don't compromise the pose by bending your knees. Keep your legs nice and straight. Keep flexing the feet. Keep pressing out through the back of the knee. Okay? And then take a nice deep breath in and see if you can go a little tiny bit further. Just a little bit, like a quarter of an inch would make you feel like you made a difference. And then bring your hands to the outside of your knees. Close everything up. Pull your knees into your chest, but bring the arms out wide into the big T. Take a twist to the right. Get the legs down. Let the back of the left arm settle. So we're going to end exactly the way that we started with my favorite twist. Something that should be familiar to you at this point, and hopefully it's your favorite too. Force feed it down your throats, right? Every single class. Knees up to center. Drop them over to the left. Focus on the back of the right arm. Get it out long and to your side. Knees up to center. One last happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap. Whatever feels best for you. Find your movement. Take the natural curve out of your low back. And then extend your legs out long in front of you on the mat and settle in for just a moment or two of Shavasana. Close your eyes. Let your mind wander a little bit here. Arms are at your side with the palms up. They can be closer to your body or farther apart. I like to take up a lot of space. I'm that annoying person in yoga that takes up all the space. Spread myself out like a starfish on that floor. So do whatever feels best. And then find your breath. Inhaling, exhaling, holding the breath for a little count in between, trying to make your inhale and your exhale the same length. That's important. And while you're laying here, start at the top of your head and work your way down. So that was a different kind of a class, right? A slightly different experience, in that we didn't stand up. We didn't even go on our knees. We didn't even do cat and cow. But I think we effectively opened just about everything. And I hope that as you're lying here, you feel good. You feel rested. You feel stretched out. You know, for some of you, you might think, oh no, that wasn't good enough. I don't feel good. And that's you. For others, that might have been perfect, because maybe sometimes the moving up and down gets to your knees or gets to your hips. And this way, you've seen that you can do a whole yoga class without having to deal with that. Because, like I said in the very beginning, yoga is intended to be for everybody and every single body that is out there, you know? And it's good to shake things up a little. It's good to try new things. It's good to maybe see something that you take for granted, like yoga being easy for you, and how maybe it's difficult for someone else, but yet they can practice just as effectively as you or I can, just by making some changes. So start to move your fingers and your toes a little bit, and start to stretch if that's how you'd like to end your class. And when you're ready, either roll to your right or roll straight up and come up to a comfortable seated position. Hands come to your heart in prayer. And we're just going to end with our usual namaste, which means that which is bright and shiny in me honors and bows to that which is bright and shiny in you. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you for coming back and joining me for another yoga class. I sure appreciate it. And I hope you feel really good. I hope you have a good couple of days and you stay healthy and you just do something good for yourself, even if that's just taking a walk outside in the sunshine. Okay? Take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.